when Christ gives us this mission, He also includes an encouraging message along with it. Now listen carefully to this. He says to those that He sent out in pairs, to every city and place, I am going to come. When you saw the message title earlier, Jesus is coming, you probably thought I was going to talk about the second coming. I mean, how else does Jesus come? I'm not talking about the second coming, and I'm about to tell you how else Jesus comes. Listen to this. Sometimes I have a mom say to me, Wade, I know you believe in the doctrine of election. I know that you teach us that God will save His people, that Jesus actually died for His people and He will save them. I'm concerned that my child may not be part of the elect. Or I have a friend who will say to me, Wade, I've heard you speak that God will save His people, but I've got an uncle, as was said to me this morning at 7, who, when I shared Christ with him, he said he's an agnostic. How do I know that this man is going to be saved? Listen to the promise of Christ. Wherever I send you out on mission to share the gospel of peace, I am coming. Mom, you take 15, 20 minutes and you sit down with your child and you share Christ with your child. Jesus is coming to your child. Jesus is coming where you share the gospel of peace. You say, Pastor Wade, are you telling me that if I've got a burden for someone who doesn't know Christ, someone who's at odds with God, are you saying that if I take time to share with them the peace that I have, Jesus will bring them the same peace? I'm not telling you that. Jesus is telling you that. Let me show you what I mean. You remember when Jesus was instructing His disciples about how they were to go out on mission, and some of the disciples were saying, this is going to be hard. This is going to be tough. And Jesus said, yeah, it will, but let me remind you of something. When you go out on a picnic with your earthly father, and He spreads the blanket and sets the basket of bread down, and you ask your father, Dad, could I have a piece of bread? Does your earthly father reach into the basket and pull out a stone or a snake? Now, you've got to understand the context. In Jesus' day, there were no bikes or motorcycles or cars. You walked. And when you would be on a picnic, people would walk by you, and in their shoes, their sandals, or their bare feet, they would often kick stones or rocks into your bread basket. Or grass snakes would crawl into the bread basket. So it wasn't uncommon to reach into your picnic basket and find a snake or a stone. So Jesus was using a very practical illustration, saying to His disciples, look, when you're on picnic with your dad and you ask for a piece of bread, does He give you a snake or a stone? Of course not. How much more, Jesus says, will your heavenly Father give that which you ask? Listen, if you've got a burden for someone to have the same peace with God that you have, you ask Jesus to save your loved one, and then you go, because Jesus is coming where